Hello, it's Stella from Earth Lovers Oracle. Happy Halloween. Recording this on the 31st of October, and it's really a triple kind of power pack today because we have a full moon in Taurus, and it also happens to be a blue moon, which I will explain in a moment. Plus, it is Halloween. Plus, it is Samhain, which is the beginning of the Celtic calendar. So it's very, very powerful. A good time for manifesting. So, and today I do have a little spiders grid in the corner. That's my little Halloween dedication. And orange, the colour orange and green. Orange for Samhain and Halloween, and green because Taurus is an earth sign. So I'm using the Moonology Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland, and I'll start with, well, we know the cycles of the moon, but basically, it waxes to become the full moon, and then it wanes and disappears to then become the new moon. We have a blue moon because at the beginning of the month, on the 1st of October, we did have a full moon, and then here we are at the end, we have another one. So that's quite unusual. Anyway, the configuration I was talking about hasn't actually happened since 1944, which seems a long time. It's that combination of the full moon, the blue moon, and Halloween all together. So ultra powerful times, and it's needed. And probably, this week has been very discombobulated and quite stressful for people because there's been a lot of planetary kickback with the cardinal signs as the three last planets, the heavy planets, Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto, make their way through the last degrees of Capricorn, and then they are forming a tensor angle to Mars going backwards in Aries and Mercury in Libra. So there has been a lot going on. But I think that full moons are wonderful because things come to a head and then they release. So with this beautiful full moon, we think about things coming to fruition and things bursting and like babies being born and, the idea of pressure building. But also it's a good time for release. So it is a time to surrender to the divine, whatever you conceive that to be, the higher powers. It could be your ancestors, but whatever you conceive that to be. And by surrendering, we're also using the word releasing because you need to release anything that is blocking you as much as you can, because that makes what you're wanting or what you want to hope to manifest much clearer, much cleaner. So things to release are things like unresolved relationships. If you've had a quarrel with somebody, so sort of poor relationships, hanging on to old anger, when other people have let it go, and that can be a really difficult thing, but basically it just lodges within you, and it prevents you from achieving as much as you can. So from the manifesting point of view, and then we have, because it's a blue moon, there is the magical quality to it to believe in the impossible. So there's a saying, once in a blue moon, like it rarely happens. So use this energy once you've released your any angst, or you can sort of utter it to yourself, you can write it, journal it down, and then you could, if you wanted to, burn it in a little safe area, like in a garden, a little fire pit, or even an ashtray, something like that. So, and then with the decks clear, just believe that things are possible. Have that assuredness if you can. So the full moon falls in the sign of Taurus, an earth sign. Taurus is a fixed sign, which means that it is very solid and reliable, but quite often quite fixed in its views. But certainly the sign of Taurus brings stability to this life, you know, any fixed sign, but particularly Taurus. And it's depicted by a bull, as you know, and it's very closely linked to nature and having one's feet on the earth. And also that Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. So quite often Taurus people like to make things nice for everybody. They want to make things beautiful. And they are out to please, or they want to give you like lovely wine or lovely food or lovely decor. And actually having beautiful things is not such a bad thing, because it can make you feel better. You know, it's not the benchmark that you build your life on, but it certainly is a consolation. So it is this lovely, it's almost like a healing feeling with that. So just, you know, your dreams need to have a practical plan. Taurus is highly practical. And so it could be something like you're hoping to get a new job, attract a new house, attract a new partnership. But you need to put some little plans into action just to stream them into being. But one can't micromanage everything. It's just the idea of have those little gems and then let them drift off into the cosmos, really. And then, you know, ways will come for you to deal with them. Practical advice will come to you, and you will know what to do. So I've mentioned that Taurus is a fixed sign. So with a fixed sign, you need to hold your vision. It's often better to just think of one or two things, just to make sure that the arrow's shooting in as straight a line as possible. And, you know, it could be like the vision, like people want the world to be better now. That would be a good start. But on a personal level, you know, one has hopes and dreams. It could be, you know, mending bridges, or making something much, much better. So just hold that vision of what you hope to happen. So the last card that I picked today is from a Sahara Rose, a yogic path, and I have the guidebook here, very, very pretty. I've drawn from these before, and they very much have an Indian flavour. And linked in with the sign of Taurus, which is a very good sign to manifest things, very practical, very down to earth. And I know a few Tauruses, and their manifestation powers are actually amazing. You know, where they have this vision and they are able to ground it into reality. So the card that I've drawn, it's a deity called Lakshmi, and she is the goddess of wealth and beauty. And I just want to read a little passage from the book, because I think this really, it all goes together very well. Lakshmi, goddess of abundance, fortune and beauty. Many call on her, but she only comes to those who have self-belief. She is the goddess of abundance, physical beauty, good fortune and fertility. She is the sweetness of the fruit, the petals of the flower, the glistening of the ocean. She is the extra spark that makes certain things beautiful. She comes to you with blessings of prosperity for the fruits of your labour. She recognises your generosity and rewards you in her way, whether it's financial abundance, radiant health, loving partnership, a comfortable home, good fortune, or the impregnation you seek. It could be, you know, if you're hoping to have a child and you've gone through the practical or the biological whys and wherefores, and it's just that extra bit of blessing in your life to make things come into being. It's quite interesting, because when you feel like you are not enough, you will not have enough. Lakshmi has come to you to remind you that you already are the things you are seeking: abundance, beauty and radiance and success. It all takes a little bit to tune into that. But when you acknowledge who you are, you will become more bountiful with the riches of life, and that could be on many levels, and your inner beauty shines. So just think of that thing of self-worth. It's always good to pay a little bit more attention to that, to think whether you're worthy to receive those things. So pay attention to your inner monologue, how you speak to yourself. If you berate yourself, it's never a good idea. The universe will respond to continue your story. Create a positive self-dialogue and tell yourself how beautiful and abundant you already are. Sprinkle compliments and smiles to all those you encounter, and the Lakshmi within you will come to light. So this is a key time for manifesting, having released any little sort of shadows that you feel are holding you back. It's a great time to manifest something tangible in your life. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you have, please like it. And if you'd like to subscribe, I'd be very grateful for that. Thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful full moon.